I'll ask the question, what do you think men want in women?
I think that the masculine realm that we operate in is based on respect. I think that men are constantly looking for a way to be respected. I think the world is hyper competitive and we're constantly always looking for status amongst our peers. This is why you will see a man give up his basically entire life to do something which will only gain him respect, even in a very small sphere. So if I had to build the ideal woman who could get any man on earth, what she would have to do is understand that I need to give my man as much status and as much respect as possible. I, by extension of him, being next to him, need to make him look respected. But the hidden actual message behind all of it is that men are constantly looking for status and respect, and a woman who makes her man feel respected, not only from her, but from his peers, is the kind of woman a man's never going to want to lose.
All right. So whether or not you like the messenger, let's focus on the message, because Mr. Andrew Tate, though he's not my idea of the ideal healthy male role model, he is speaking facts. But I'm going to take it way deeper and explain why. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Levi Washington. I work in franchise management, but I side hustle as a writer and creator, and I really enjoy exploring conversation centered around overall human optimization and relationship dynamics. Now, I'm still not operating at 100%. I'm still a little bit stuffed up, so if you can hear that in my voice, I apologize, but bear with me. So yes, I do believe that boiled down to a generalization, men need respect while women need love. I think they do overlap, but they are also different. I actually have a book here titled Love and Respect, which I've heard speaks to this differentiation, but just like about maybe 25% of the collection of books that I own. I have not read it myself yet, but based on much of what I see and hear from TikTok psychologists, my own experiences, and all the way to the esteemed Gottman Institute, it rings as a general truth. So I would like to share a few of my personal perspectives in the hopes that they prove valuable to you, or at the very least, interesting. Now, the first thing that I personally found interesting was all of the comments under that clip of Tate. Hordes of women getting their guards up and wanting to disagree or retort by saying things like, respect is earned, or I'll give respect to those who deserve respect, or respect is a two-way street. Now, one of my favorite exercises is to take a shoe off of one foot and then put it on the other. So let's ask ourselves, what would that exercise look like here? Picture this. A woman says, it's very important for women to feel loved and safe and provided for. Now, in reality, we all know that there will be no objections to this. No one would even bat an eye. But for the sake of the exercise, now imagine hundreds of men typing furiously in the comments saying, love and protection are only for those who are worthy of it, or that's a two-way street, or provision and protection are earned. Imagine the types of men who would be behind such comments, hell-bent on refusing any accountability or responsibility or reality. Would such men strike you as healthy men, or the type of men even capable of providing safety and stability in a relationship? Of course not. So let's not be hypocrites and apply that same energy to the women who are upset about this concept of respect. The women whose first response to what is important to men is to get defensive and to argue and to diminish and to ask, what about me? Do you think such women are going to be the types who are even capable of respect in relationships? Rhetorical. Okay, so now that we have established respect is of utmost importance, let's talk about what respect means, because that is where most people get it twisted. The dictionary defines respect as this, and I hope you're listening to this: a feeling of deep admiration for someone or something elicited by their abilities, qualities, or achievements, or the due regard for feelings, wishes, rights, or traditions. Now, do not let that definition fall on deaf ears. So yes, fellas, before you point at the stick in a woman's eye, you have to ask yourself first, what are you doing and what are you achieving right now that is worth respecting? And remember, respect is also fragile. You can be doing several admirable things, but if you are engaging in behaviors that are detestable and degenerate or dishonest, then are you a respectable man? If you help feed orphans with one hand but raise the other to your wife, are you a saint or are you a sinner? There are no guarantees in this life, but I promise you, if you truly stand on business and walk in true integrity, most other things will fall into place. Such is the burden of leadership, and only the ones strong enough to sacrifice themselves will understand. Now, that said, a lot of times when people hear respect your man, they often think that it means you never challenge him, that you must blindly obey, and that you are subservient to his rules and wishes and whims. This is false. I will explain it like this. Someone who has a high capability of respect must first have self-respect. Someone who does not respect themselves first cannot respect someone else, because you cannot give what you do not first have. People without self-respect do not follow out of respect. They follow because they are doormats. They follow out of fear and insecurity and incapability. Therefore, only a woman who is deeply respectful of herself can truly be deeply respectful of a man. And this is the only type of woman that can bring higher levels of status and respect to the man that she is with. A woman who does not respect herself only invites further disrespect into her man's life and onto her home. And I can imagine that you can imagine the implications of this in a world where we celebrate the shameless and sell blatantly disrespectful behaviors as empowerment, and we glorify it. We sell entitlement as empowerment. This is the unfortunate truth. And a lot of women are out here flaunting and flexing fake confidence and fake self-love and fake self-respect. And honestly, it's no different to how men who are financially insufficient or don't have enough status or insecure in themselves, they will pretend to have money and status and confidence that they do not have. I hope you are hearing what I'm saying, because I'm preaching right now. I think that the type of woman who garners respect for her man, who has the ability to align and attract good men of principles and values, is a woman who respects herself first. And what I mean by respecting herself first is she takes care of herself well, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. The way that she conducts herself and carries herself, the way that she speaks, the way that she presents herself on social media. She respects her body, so she does what she can to be healthy and sets a good example of physical health for her friends and family and her current or future children, and is careful with who she allows access to her body. It's her time, so she doesn't fritter it away on frivolous things or people who don't respect her time. She respects her mind, so she doesn't constantly fill it with mindless garbage. She respects her environment and her belongings and is a good steward of those things. She respects her heart, so she guards it because she knows everything she does flows from it. A woman with high levels of self-respect will not be promiscuous. She will not be addicted to materialism and validation. She will not be a drunk or addicted to substances. She will not engage with or waste time on meaningless connection with men who do not show up with clear intentions, respect, and commitment, because she respects herself too much for those things. Listen. Women who do not respect themselves will often end up in relationships with men who do not respect them either. They will serve as not much more than a man's access point to sex and servitude. They will align with men who lack values and principles, men who see women as inferior and not worthy of respect because she herself sees herself as inferior and not worthy of respect. Like I always say, our relationships are a reflection of our own capacity for depth and love. A good man wants a woman who respects herself first. But a toxic man will twist this word respect into a demand for absolute obedience and servitude. He will expect respect from women no matter the disrespect that he engages in. Disrespect that only women who don't respect themselves will allow and enable. Ultimately, this goes both ways. I know a lot of you want these conversations to be one way or the other, because you both sides want to be the victim and to point the finger at the other and sit online for hours feeding your confirmation bias every day. But how about you quit bitching about what these men are doing or not doing, or what these women are doing or not doing, and ask yourself, what are you doing regardless of what anyone else is doing or not doing? The battle between good and evil is not between men and women. It is actually together against the evil that is being sold to you. So go outside and touch grass.